Hi guys, and welcome to another Bootstrap 4 video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we've been working on this little Bootstrap site here, sort of doing some animations, both with CSS and importing some JavaScripts and what have you. In this video, I'm going to create a div that we can show and hide with a button using a bit of JavaScript. It's pretty straightforward, but you may find it really useful when building sites. So let's get that going. I'm going to stop that rotation that we did there because it's kind of getting on my nerves. So let's get rid of that first. Here's our folder with our website files in it. I'm going to open the index in brackets, index.html in brackets. I've already got it open actually. Here we go. And let's have a look. Oh, we were using that custom CSS style sheet, so I need to open that to stop that rotation on that logo. And it's Navbar brand. Here we go. That logo on rotation. There it is right there. Let's get rid of that right there. Comment it out, /*. And I'm pretty sure, I don't think I'm using that rotation on anything else, so I'll just uncomment it after that. There we go. So that the browser will no longer read that part. Let's save that. And go back to the site and refresh, and hopefully that should stop now. Yeah, it's no longer rotating. Good. Well, let's get on with the job in hand. So what I'll do is I'll create another div right here with a little button, and we'll have it hide and show the div. So back to brackets to our index.html, and this brackets is a free text editor. You can download it from a link below this video. Let's go on down. I'm going to use a shortcode. If you've seen my videos before, you'll know with brackets you can get a bunch of free extensions. Just open up the extension manager, and I'm going to use some shortcodes from RCH Bootstrap snippets. Just put Bootstrap in your search in the available tab. It's a free extension and you can go ahead and install it. It'll either install it automatically, or you'll get a little zip file. It'll take you to their page and it'll download a zip file, and you can just drag your zip file there to install it. Okay, so let's do this. Firstly, where do we want to put it? Let's put it in this container right here with these other things. So I'm not even going to give it a, well, I guess I better give it a div. I might want to do a bit of styling. The class of BT for button. Alright, now inside there, I'm going to put our little button. So I'm just going to use a shortcode BS4 BTN. We'll use button success, and there it is. He's just put our code in there. So we've now got a button. It's not doing anything at the moment, but we'll deal with that in the moment. Let's create another div underneath. And this div, we'll actually give it an ID because we're going to target with a bit of JavaScript, and we'll give it the class. Actually, we'll give it the ID. Let's call it something like hide me, with a capital M there, hide me. Okay, let's close out that div. And so this is going to be the div that we'll want to hide and show with the button above. And inside it, I'm just going to copy over a little list I've got going on here. There it is. Tab that over just a little bit and pull these back just to tidy it up. Okay, got a list there. I guess we'll make it a column 12 so it stretches the whole width. So it's a div there with the ID of hide me, and within that we just got a little list here. Example of what you can put inside. You can put inside anything you want. This is going to kind of end up a bit like a modal, but of course we're doing it with custom. So let's just save that, go back to the site and see what we've got. Let's do a refresh. Okay, there's our button. There's that little div. That looks pretty uninteresting. Let's just do a bit of styling on these a moment. So I think I'll center all those. Let's do this. Back to our brackets. And we'll center that by just doing text center. And we'll do, I don't want to center that actually, or do I? What would it look like? Yeah, we'll leave that as it is. We want a bit of space there. So that's text center. I'm not going to text center that. And we want a bit of padding on these. So we'll use a new Bootstrap classes. Actually, we'll use a margin. So we'll say margin top. Well, let's just say margin 5. So that'll be a margin all around. And we'll do similar with this. Do this fairly quickly. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. We'll give that a background color or something, I guess. Control S and back to the site. Refresh. Alright, that's a bit more like it. And right click and inspect. Bring up the Chrome inspector here. I'm using the Google Chrome browser. There is our button right there. Let's give it a width and a height. I think 73 or 75 pixels was what the buttons at the top were. So let's give it similar here. Of course, the buttons at the top were images. This is an actual button. And we'll give it a border radius of 50% to make it round. Okay, and let's, I guess I could have written that as uppercase, but I didn't, so let's do a text transform. There we go. And then we'll just have to adjust the padding. See what happens. Pixels, there we go, that's better. Right, let's just adjust this top and bottom, this is left and right, and see if we can pull that text central there. There we go. Really, the top and bottom is not going to make much difference purely because we've given it that height attribute. Okay, well that'll do. That's enough time spent on that. And let's just copy, don't need anything that was there already, so let's just copy this. Well, we haven't got it in there, so let's copy all of this and stick it in our style sheet. Back to the brackets. And I'll just put it down below. I'll give it a quick title, / / // and it's, I may have some more to do in a moment, so let's just paste this in here. Don't need those three because we didn't change that. And let's save that. Control S, back to our site, and see if that's done the trick. We may have to add some important to make it work properly. Nope, that's absolutely fine. Good. So we've got our button. and we've got our div that we want to hide, and when we hit this button we want that to, well, we'll start off with it hidden, and when we hit the button we'll want to show it. So let's write a little bit of JavaScript here. I think I'll go ahead and do it on page rather than another file. So let's open up our HTML and we'll take this down the bottom to where our scripts are. Open and close some more script tags, script, as if you didn't know how to spell it. And within that we're going to write some JavaScript, and what I'll do is I'll write it and then I'll zoom in on it for a little while so you can copy it. You may want to pause your video just so you can copy it, unless of course you know exactly what it is already. Okay, so we're going to create a function, and let's call it my function. And just open close some round brackets on the end of there. Now we need to open some curly brackets, and within those curly brackets we've got to tell it what that function is, and the variable is the x, and it's what we're going to do is, that wants to be an equal, sorry I'm talking while I'm doing this so I might mess up, and x equals document, and what we want to do is get the document by ID, so there's no space there, and it's dot get, and it's important, well it's actually the element by ID, and they've even prompted us there, get element by ID, that where there's capitals you want to make sure you've got capitals there or it will not work. Now the element that we want to get was the element that we just created here, and it's the ID, element by ID, and it's called hide me. So let's put that in there, and we'll put that inside some round brackets and inside some inverted commas, and it's important hide me with a capital M because I used a capital M in the title there. Alright, so it's going to get that element, and we want to create the argument if, and let's open some round brackets here, more round brackets I should say, if x, the style, and we'll create a bit of CSS style in a moment for it, is dot display block. Well, we've got to put a few equal signs in there, display and block inside those inverted commas there. Then we want another curly bracket, and we want to say if it's displaying block we want to tell it to display none. So we'll say x style is going to be display none. Display equals none. Or, so of course we've got to sort of give it the or, we've got to give it the other part of the argument. So if it's displaying block we want it to display none, or if it's not displaying block, so let's put a semicolon under there. Then we got our closing curly, which is fine, and we want else, you know, if it's doing this, if not, else. We want to, let's open some more curlies, we want it to x display block. So if it's displaying none we want it to display block, if it's displaying block we want it to display none, every time we click on this thing, it'll go from one to the other, in theory. No, it should work fine. Okay. X style. And then we want it to display block this time. Alright, and we'll put another semicolon on the end of that. And that should do it. We just want one curly bracket on there, and I believe I got one too many curly brackets there. Let's just have a look through. Bear with me for 1 second. We'll make sure this works before I zoom in and get you to copy it. So we've got script function is my function. Okay, that looks good. And opening curly is a var. Variable X is document. Get element by ID. Hide me. Double check I got that correct. There it is. Hide me. It's spelt the same. Capital M. Now then, if X style display equals block, that's correct, then X style display none. So if it's displaying block, we want it to display none, and if it's not displaying block, which means it's displaying none, we want it to display block. And I am missing one. I should have left that closing tag on the end there. It's really important don't miss out any tags or any semicolons or anything like that, or it will not work. In fact, I should have a semicolon on the end of there as well, or it's not going to read this next part. So let's save that. What else do we want to do? I need to add some CSS to this actual element so that it's hidden at first and only is visible when we click on that button. So let's just save that anyway. And oh, of course, we've got a custom CSS file here, so we'll have to put it in there. So let's go down to our CSS here. I'll just put another title in there. I'm just going to call it hidden. Alright, now our ID was called hide me, wasn't it? And it was an ID, so it's hashtag hide, capital M-E. Open and close some curlies. Let's give it a background color for a start. Say background. Does it really matter? We'll call it green. Okay, and we want it to display, we actually want it to display none. So it's not actually there when we start. You could hide it with CSS using opacity, but the real estate that it actually takes up, the gap would still be there. So let's save that. We're giving it a background of green, display none. Let's save that. Now let's go back to our site and see if this actually works. Okay, as you can see, it's not there. Oh, we haven't told this button what to do yet, so it's not going to work. If I click on it, nothing's going to happen. So let's go back. That wasn't very clever, was it? Where's our button? It's in our index.html and it's in that button div. And we've got to tell this button what we want it to do. So button success. After the class name there, let's put in, it wants to do our function. So on click, it wants to do our function. So let's say on click. In other words, when anybody clicks on it, wants to run that bit of script, and we call that bit of script my function, didn't we? Just double check that, because again it won't work. Yeah, my function. In fact, I'll just copy that. So it wants to do that. On click my function. There we go. Now then, we told it what it needs to do now. So let's save that, go back, and let's see if that's going to work. Let's refresh so it reads the code once more, and let's click on it. There we go. So it's toggling. Once it's on load, it's not there because we've said it must display none. We look at our custom CSS here. We've told it that hide me element display none, and we gave it the background green there. Now when we click it, it displays block, because our little bit of script down here, nope, not down there on the index.html, it says if it's displaying block, then display none. If it's displaying none, display block. And display block means basically display normally. So there you go. It's all working absolutely fine. Let's just put a bit of padding around this text here because it looks a bit silly there at the moment. And I guess we give it an attribute of text light as well. So let's say text light. Stand out against that green. Another nice Bootstrap class there. H1. Yeah, margin 5. Let's give it also padding 5 as well. That should take care of what I need to do here. P5. These new padding and margin classes go from 1 to 5, 1 being the smallest, 5 being the largest, and it's based on the n factor, which I think by default is 16 pixels. I could be wrong though. So let's save that, back to the site, refresh, disappear. Yeah. Now when we click on our button, there it is. You've got that padding now. It looks a little bit better with that padding. Gone. Back. Gone. And that's great for like more info buttons, you know, read more, or anything that you don't particularly want to display when the site loads, but there's info there should people need it. So there you have it. Let's just go back to that script again. And what I'm going to do is when I edit this video, I'll zoom in on this particular bit so you can see it. So I'm just going to leave it there for a moment so you can copy it. Like I say, you may decide to pause the video and copy it because it's really important that you put everything in there just as it is. Obviously, you can change the names of your elements and stuff like that. You can have several of these on a page, just call it my function 1 and do another one, my function 2, and hide and show different elements. But it's great. It's a great little tool. I'm by no means a JavaScript expert. I'm pretty good with HTML and CSS. I can do that without thinking, but JavaScript, you've really got to put everything exactly right. So there you have it. That is how to show and hide a div or element with a bit of JavaScript. Pretty simple to do, but can be a fantastic effect and really useful for web design. So once again, this has been Jamie with System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're interested in web development, take a look down below. We've got some great free courses. We've also got some premium courses down there with some huge discounts for our YouTube subscribers. So take a look. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.